Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and it is time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 393. Really getting close to 400, wahoo kachoo. Now if you are new to our channel, welcome. We love having newbies all the time. We do ask that you subscribe to our channel. There's a little heart right over here. If you just run your cursor over it, a subscribe bar will come up and you just click it. We are desperately trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Truly I am. I'm at 91,500 right now, and unless I do something that goes viral, it's gonna take me a little bit longer to get to 100,000, but my gosh, Scrapbooking Made Simple we're a small independent retailer here in Canyon Country, California, and we are just the little engine that could. So if we have to do it one subscriber at a time, that is the way it's going to happen. Now today's class is featuring Sizzix and clear scraps, and we're going to be doing slimline products, and I've got the next collection of dies from Find It Trading that are slimline that are going to retail to you for $14.99 in the I Want It All bundle. Amazing. But then I had some exclusive product manufactured from Clear Scraps just for this YouTube, and it all started with one phone call, and one phone call led to another phone call, led to another phone call, and this YouTube just kind of all pulled itself together. Made my heart happy. As always, we're going to start off pretty simple, and then I'm going to get progressively harder as the class goes along. So if you're new to crafting, don't worry. This is the perfect class for you because you can see what you can do as a newbie, and then you can see where you can aspire to get to as you continue in your crafting journey. So much to share. So really gonna have a great time. I do want to show you, so I'm gonna pull my phone up. I want to show you what landed on my desk, and I'm not sure who they're from. I don't think they're from Mr. SMS, but look at what's on my desk downstairs. Surprise, but from who? I haven't gone downstairs to check it out and see who they're from yet. Oh my gosh, whoever sent me those beautiful flowers, if it's one of you out there watching, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, they're absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. So appreciated. I have a feeling it was a manufacturer. Just a thought. We'll wait and see when I get downstairs. Now I have winter chicken dinner to talk about, so I'm gonna get to that. And I wanna let you know that we're gonna be die cutting, we're gonna be stenciling, we're gonna be using the Sizzix luster wax again. I've got Aladine Pearly back, which literally was like a last minute Hail Mary to keep it cool Kevin, and boy did he keep it cool, because I didn't know I was going to throw that product into this YouTube until last minute. And if you've placed your order for this, we've already put the order in. So I didn't know if there was any more because I already gave Keep It Cool Kevin my order for the Pearly because we did it a couple weeks ago. And I had to call him and say, can we have more? And then he had to call somebody to find out if it was okay. And well, and he's in the UK, and the person he had to call was in France, and I didn't call him until like noon, which was like 8 o'clock his time. So Keep It Cool Kevin did just that. He absolutely kept it cool. And so I've just got a whole chock full of a table to show you. And again, we're going to start out easy peasy. So if you are a scrapbooker or a card maker or mixed media or altered art, I am positive that there is something in here in this class that will talk to each one of you. It'll talk to you a little differently, but there's something in this class that will reach each one of you. And the idea is to take these techniques and then incorporate them into what you do. Not what I do, but what you do. And have the courage to just try. Just try. If you don't try, you never know. If you don't try, trust me, I have a story with my dad about that, but I told that story a long time ago. Now, winter chicken dinner. Oh, let me go back and put my phone where it needs to be. Hold on. Winter chicken dinner. I have got 2 winner chicken dinners from last week. That means that these nice people subscribed to our channel, which is over here. There's a heart, hit the subscribe button, and then they posted a comment down below. I approved the comment. Yes, your comment has to be approved before you can see it. Why? Because not everybody is nice. It's just that simple. Or maybe everybody's nice, but not everybody has tact. If there's a sample that the girls make that you're not crazy about, you don't need to tell us. You know, it's okay. I'm not going to tell them, hey, so-and-so didn't like your sample. I'm not. And if my shade of lipstick is not your shade of lipstick, I'm okay with that too. I hope you're okay. That's why Revlon makes 52 different colors. So, our winners posted their comment. Their comment was kind. It could have been as simple as, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, had a great day. Or hey, getting ready to craft. Whatever. It could be as generic as anything, but it was something that was at least appropriate. So, these 2 winners have a $25 gift card already in their account. Are you ready? Oh, the first one. Okay. I don't know if your parents were just being cute in how they spelled your name, but I'm probably going to say it wrong because I'm not sure if it's Teresa or Teresa. See, to me, looking at it, because I believe when 2 vowels go a-walking, the first one does the talking, and there's no vowel next to the E, it wouldn't be a hard E to make Teresa. It would be Teresa. But I could be wrong, and your parents could have just been really cute in spelling your name. So, Teresa Corson. Hello. You're a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. I don't think you really care how I pronounced your name, do you? I think you probably thought that I overanalyzed how to pronounce your name way too much. Hello, I'm Stacy, A-type personality. Very nice to meet you. So there you go, Teresa. Whichever way it is, you've won $25, but you're not the only one. I've got a second winner. Oh, and this one's perfect. We get lots of questions about whether you have to have your YouTube username as your proper name to be able to win. No, you don't. We do have to be able to figure out who you are from your YouTube username, and most often we can kind of figure it out in our online system who you are. And this person did not use their full legal name. They used Annette 1957. Hello, Annette 1957. What does that 1957 stand for? Is that the year that you were born? Is that the year of the first car you ever owned? Is that the 4 digits of your address, your house address? You live at 1957 Park Place? Or maybe the 1957 stands for how many times you've tried to be a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Either way, it's your turn. Congratulations. We're very excited for you. All right, Annette and Teresa, whichever. It's time to do the winner chicken dinner dance. Are you ready? Girls, you need to stand up because if you've won, you should not be sitting down. You should be so excited. All right. You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. Congratulations, and like I said, your $25 is already in your online account. Please go spend it on something frivolous. Spend it on something you just normally wouldn't buy for yourself. We all usually give so much to others and not so much to ourselves. Take that money and do something for you, something that you've always wanted. Compliments of Scrapbooking Made Simple. Okay, so what do I have for you today? I have oodles. I have product from Sizzix. We're going to be using their luster waxes again. Please know that we have pretty much locked up the entire inventory of the luster waxes, and I have them on an I Want It All for $19.99. They retail for $8.99 each. So we've got them at a smoking hot price to because eventually I'm going to have to release my hold on them. And I'm hoping to have a complete sellout. That way, woohoo! I've got that. I've got Aladine. I have got Sue Wilson stencils. I've got Find It Trading. Their Slimline dies are back. I've got 4 new ones. And Remco, my friend over at Find It, said, here, Stacy, here are the designs. Which ones would you like to have? Wahoo! Who doesn't like options, right? I'm the queen of you got options. So the Slimline Stencils, the Slimline dies, and then I went ahead and had special product made from Susan over at Clear Scraps. And they're just a little mom and pop company like me, only they call this, they're a grandma, grandpa company. Is what I'm a mom and pop because my kids are still at home. She's a grandma grandpa company because she's got a little grandson that I think they're off visiting now. So I've got product from them. And then Hobby Gross. Hobby Gross has got new slimline paper in as well. So I think that that's where I'm going to start, is with the Hobby Gross. We're going to start simple and get progressively harder as we go along. Are you ready? I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to show you some samples and we're going to get started for today. All right, goodbye, down I go, see ya. And zoom in, and not show my tummy, and in. Maybe straighten a little. And in. See, we're very high tech here. All right. So, what do we think of this card? This was done with Hobby Gross paper, their slimline paper, Stampendous stamps, Find It trading, slimline border dies. And I have to say, these border dies are some of the best border dies I have ever seen, whether you do slimline or not, because you'll be able to use them for anything. And I love the sentiment. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So there's sample 1. Here's sample 2. Again, all of the die cutting, all of these shapes were done with a Find It Trading, a new Find It Trading slimline die for $14.99. Even the little center pieces were out of the die. Love them. And then this background paper is Hobby Gross, one of their ink drops, the dark ink drops, brand new. So there's 2. And then what do we think of this? This is a winner chicken dinner. So the train was fussy cut out. The stencil is from Sue Wilson, her Slimline Stencils. It was done with the Sizzix Luster Wax on Hobby Gross black ink drop paper. Yay, right? Right. Okay, let's get started. I think I'm going to start with the Hobby Gross paper. So there are 4 new papers in the slimline. And we also have them in 6x6. I showed this one in 6x6 last week. It's the metal scratch paper, which happens to be like my favorite. I think this paper is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's the same in the 6x6 as the slimline. So same style, same colors, just different sizes. But I featured this in my last YouTube class and it was beautiful. They also have their ink drop paper. So this is their new slimline ink drop paper. Again, we have not had it before. It's online. It's just gorgeous. And then they have their ink drop paper in the darks. Oh, that's not a darks. Look at how rich. See, there's the black ink drop. And yes, you can even tell. I hope I can get this on camera. Yeah, there is the ink drop in there. Can you see it? Isn't that gorgeous? So even the black has the ink drop in there. The colors are simply amazing. I was scrolling through them and then I wasn't. And they're just rich and regal, and I mean, they're jewel tones, and that speaks to me. I'm going to put this yellow where the yellow belongs. And then last we have their rusty metal. So when you see the samples made with the rusty metal, I think you're going to go, are you kidding me? Really? Who would have thought that the rusty metal would be so I mean, it's stunning. It's not just guide card. It's stunning card. Oh my gosh. So these are the 4 new ones, and I think I'm gonna start with maybe the ink drop papers. When the YouTube came to be, when I was working out what I wanted to do, and Find It Trading had told me that they had the new Slimline dies and which ones did I want. In fact, some of these aren't out yet. So which ones did I want? And Hobbygross had the paper. I thought to myself, you know, we haven't done anything with chipboard in quite some time. So I called up Susan over at Clear Scraps, and I asked her to make chipboard for me that's going to fit Slimline absolutely perfectly. Fits Slimline perfect. I had her cut the chipboard to the specific sizes that we needed for the paper and Find It Trading's dies. But you'll notice one of these is bigger than the other. This one fits it exactly. This one's a little bigger, and I did that with intent. Why do you have one that's bigger? Well, because I wanted you to have the opportunity. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do the yellow. I wanted you to have the opportunity to be able to mat it. So I know that I tend to double mat, triple mat. I like matting. I think it just finishes everything off so pretty. And if we only had the one chipboard book, you would not be able to mat it so beautifully. I wanted you to be able to mat. That was important to me. Now, you may want to just do an album, putting paper on both sides, and start making a mini album. Each of the albums come with 5 pieces of the chipboard, holes already punched, ready to go. 5 pieces of the chipboard. And this is where I'm going to start today, just keeping it as simple as I can. Scooch that a little bit more that way. And so knowing that if you're a newbie and you wanted to make a cute little chipboard album for somebody, all you really have to do is get the paper, tape it down, cover it up, and away you go. That one is started. So I'm just going to put it down really quick. You'll have to punch the holes. But mini albums are a great little gift. Not that you have to put the pictures in, but you could just add simple matting and allow whomever you give it to add their pictures. Or maybe you went on an excursion with friends and you have some pictures. Making them a cute little mini album is such a very thoughtful gift. And again, cover both sides, start adding your matting for pictures or pockets or whatever makes your heart happy, and it's ready to go. But if I was going to do it on this one, obviously I have chipboard that needs to be covered. And I think I'm going to add a second piece back here. Let's add a different color. Let's see. Ooh. That one is certainly pretty. Ooh, that one's very pretty. Okay, do I want to put it down first? No. All right, I'm going to move these off to the side. So being that I have to cover this chipboard with something, unless you like the look of the chipboard, that's where the Sizzix luster paste or luster wax comes in. It is definitely not a paste. It is definitely a wax. It is not a water-based product. It is a wax-based product. And I think I'm just going to stencil a little bit on here just to show you how easy it is. Now, luster wax comes in the silver. It comes in gold, and it comes in what they call rose gold. I would call it copper. The I Want It All on these is $19.99, and again, I've got all the product pretty much locked up. They didn't get much in to start with, so I took all that I could. And last week in the last YouTube, somebody was asking in the comment section of the YouTube, because this dries really fast, it dries super fast on paper, on plastic, on metal, on acrylic, it's meant on wood, it's meant for all types of surfaces. Because it dries really, really fast, does that mean that it dries on your sponge? No, these are the same sponges that I used last week, and I'm gonna use them again this week. I don't have to get new sponges for these. It does not get all yucky. Sometimes you feel them and they're kind of crusty and it's like, ooh, yucky. But no, the wax, because it is a wax-based product and not a water-based product, they don't get yucky and you can use them again and again. Now, let's see. I have got 5 stencils from Creative Expressions Sue Wilson, and they are full-length Slimline Stencils, and they are so reasonably priced. I mean, they are so reasonably priced. I couldn't believe it. And then we've got them on sale on top of that. I love all 5 of them. I think maybe I'll use the hearts. Let's maybe use some of the hearts. So stencils are easy to use. Put it right down on top. They do not give you any tabs or borders, so you do kind of have to, and in fact, I think I'm going to go back just a little bit. You do have to tape it down, and for that I'm using my Sizzix Maker's tape. You can use washi tape, you can use painter's tape. What is it that you've got? But I do need to tape it down. The Sizzix, it's basically a really nice washi tape. It's a combination between a washi and a painter's tape, and it's really inexpensive, and they give you a lot in the roll. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. Okay. So let's down and down. There, easy peasy. And then I might just put a little bit on the side. So if you've never crafted before and you don't have a die cutting machine and you've never stamped before, this is a perfect place to start because you can do this. This is just stenciling. Have you ever stenciled your walls? Did you stencil your bathroom? Were you in the 80s? We all stenciled something, a t-shirt. You can do this. Now, I think I'm going to take the silver. So I've got my little dauber. Boy, mine, look at, I've got my little dauber from Aladine. Does it have to be the Aladine dauber? No, I think Tim Holtz's is pretty close to this, and you probably, well, you may already have that. We have the Aladine dauber because we support the manufacturers who support us. And so once Aladine made this dauber, I switched it out for, instead of using the Ranger dauber, because we really want to support the companies that stand behind us. And gosh, we're so small. We're just a little, a little store here, and Keep It Cool Kevin goes out of his way for me every single time. Now, look at how beautifully it fits. It's like the perfect peg to hole. You couldn't ask for anything better. I know Sizzix has been taking it out on a palette knife, putting it down on their craft, and then picking it up. I'm just going straight in because it's an easy way to do it. And then I can come in and literally just kind of rub it in. Now it does dry really fast on this paper. No question about that. That means it's going to dry on your stencil too. So you may not be okay with your stencil being silver. Get over it. It's okay to try and get this the luster or the wax off, the luster wax off. It's not worth it. It's already on your stencil. It doesn't harm your stencil. Huh, that's weird. There's like a little piece of that in there. Huh. Or is that my eyesight? Oh, I think that's my eyesight. I'm getting old. Okay, so I just kind of put some all the way around. I just want to jazz up this paper just a little bit. Look at how cute is that? No, I was right. Oh, it's tape. There was tape on the other side. Look at how cute is that? Done with the wax. I mean, it wasn't a paste. I didn't have to take a palette knife and go back and forward over it. It's not an ink. Oh, pretty much dry. Oh, a little wet still. Yeah, there's still little places where it's wet, but pretty much dry. Nope, not that one. Let me give it a second, and let me do it one more time. So let's grab that paper again because I love that color. Ooh, no, let's do it on this blue. Ooh, how about this blue? So, easy peasy, you saw me do it. Line it up. Tape it down. Now that I've gotten rid of that tape that was in the center, a little bit. This time I'm not going to put it on so thick because I want it to dry super fast. So let's see if I can put it on a little bit lighter. And I'm not doing everywhere. And I'm rubbing it in, just like you would rub in any kind of a wax. And pull up. And look at how cute. Simple, easy. The lighter you put it on, or the more you rub it in, the faster it dries. So where I left like little edges where it was still wet, yep, it's still a little wet because I had my edges a little thick. Here and see, I can see, maybe, I don't know if the camera can get this one, but there's a little edge right on this heart, right on the edge right there. That's gonna take it a little bit longer to dry. But look at how cute is that. And it didn't take any time at all. None at all. And then I can add it to my book. Put a mat down here or a pocket down here and a mat over here and start making a mini album for somebody. Let's just put it down real quick. So when you have the chipboard, and I could take this instead of putting it on chipboard, I could start a card with this. It's whatever makes your heart happy. But gosh, now when you have the chipboard is the perfect size for the paper. And I have started. Oh, I got someone from down here. Okay, I can live with that. All right, so let's move on. Remember, I had this one here. I've already done this one in blue. Well, I'll do a different stencil. But this one is a little bit bigger than my chipboard. And maybe you don't like the way the chipboard looks. You want the bigger because you want to be able to mat with it, and you like that, but you're not 100% crazy on how the chipboard looks. Easy peasy, not a problem. See, look at, That's so pretty now that it's silver. It's not going to wipe off. You may get a little bit, but if you're really, and you can take a magic eraser to it and that will get it off, but it's not gonna hurt it. The next colors are just gonna layer right over the top of it. And gosh, if you ever get tired of it, it makes for a beautiful embellishment. So, you know what, I'm gonna put that back in there. And let's go to the next one. So I've got my chipboard that I need to do something with. Do I want to stick with that color? Maybe I go with the red. Ooh, the red looks good. Ooh, love that. And I think I'm going to change it up, and I think I'm going to use gold. So I'm just going to take my luster wax. And I'm just gonna go and put it right on top of my chipboard. Now, do I have to do the whole thing? No, because I'm gonna cover part of it up. So I just need to go around the edges. Can I do the whole thing? Sure, if I want. And it just fits right in there. I'm using the same sponge I used last week. I've got silver on my hands. Maybe I can get the silver off my hands. Let's see if that will keep the silver. So gold. And I'm just rubbing it on. And in no time at all, I now have gold chipboard. It's beautiful. And that wax just is beautiful on, and it dries very, very quickly. The chipboard is more absorbent than the glossy paper I was using here. See how that's got a gloss to it? So it's going to absorb into the chipboard faster than it's going to absorb into this paper. Now, if I turn the paper around and put the wax on this side doesn't have a coating over the top, so it'll absorb in much faster. But now I can mat and put it down and not have that chipboard looking at me. So let's give, just quickly, and let's put this one on there. You would do a much better job at taping. I'm just trying to get it down. And I would love to be able to stand up to see that I mat this properly, but we're gonna get what we get. And then on here, and like I said, mini albums, they come and they go. People love doing them and then they get tired of them, and then they love doing them and then they get tired of them. But for a little Christmas gift or a thank you gift, they really are a nice way to make something for somebody that is confined. There's only 5 pages, so you're only decorating the front and the back, and you literally can just mat for them to put their own pictures on. You can put little pockets in there, or you can make this a book about if they bought a new home, or if they've just had a baby, or a brag book. it's confined because it's only this many pages. You've got 5 pages. That's all. I mean, you could do more, but 5 pages, put a bow around it, and it just touches their heart. Now, if I wanted to stencil on this, I could. So let's grab another stencil. Oh, see, that's got tape on it too. I almost made the same mistake twice. All right. And let's tape it on down. And right over the top. And down we go. And then right over the top. Now, if I wanted to be sure, now I've already put this, I've already attached it to my book, and then I decided to stencil afterwards. Secondary. So if I want to make sure that I don't get any of the paste on any of the sides, you'll just mask. So you'll just take your tape and put it down and make sure you mask off that. So if you get a little of the ink, it doesn't get everywhere. And I don't think I'm going to do the whole thing. And let's continue with the gold. So in and maybe I just do a portion. Just to give a little bit of texture, a little bit of definition, a little bit of dimension to what is a flat piece of paper. Oh, well, yeah, I suppose I could. I was just thinking to myself what I might do next to this. So if I take that out and I take this down, all right, I think I'm good. Let's see what I got. See how easy the maker's tape pulls up? Oh, a little thick down there. So a little thick on the bottom, but I'm gonna leave it. Love up here. That looks gorgeous. A little thick on the bottom, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave it. To me, that looks great. But what if I wanted to add even more to it? Well, we went ahead and had Clear Scraps make coordinating embellishments. So let's put that up there. So we had Clear Scraps make coordinating embellishments, borders that will match the books. So we've got the scallop, and we've got the bracket, and we've got the edge for the stamped edge. Oh, I've got 2 brackets. Where's my other one? An open one. Oh, the eyelet. I'm missing the eyelet. And the eyelet. So we've got the postage stamp edge, the eyelet, the open scallop, the bracket, and the scallop. And these are exactly, do I have one over here? Yes, these are exactly the size of each book, which means that because we have 2 different books, 2 different sizes, I have, this one's too long. I have 2 different, here we go. I have 2 different sizes of borders. Each book has their own size. so that it is proportionately correct with the book. You know what? And we can put that right there. And put that right there. And now you're just building. The beautiful thing about the borders is no matter whether you get the small or the large, because you can see they're two different sizes, two different widths, you can cut them. You don't have to use these just on mini albums. No, you can use these on your cards, on your layouts, on your mixed media, on your altered art. You can use them for just about anything. Let's go ahead, and they cover again with the wax beautifully. I'm gonna do that one maybe in silver, and we'll continue with the gold since I've got gold going on. And in no time at all, it's covered with the gold and your embellishment is done. This is not hard. It's not time consuming. You will get your fingers a little inky. Yes, absolutely. But I'm okay with that. Snip. Oh, I can see maybe a little bit more right there, huh? And maybe a little bit more right there. And then just soften it out. Okay. Wipe down. This is going to come up with a magic eraser. Bring this on over. And now look at what I've done. You can do this. I could have had it gone off the side and have it as an edge. Easy to do. And you could pretend that this is a card if you didn't want to do the chipboard. And then stick it down. I could have done the silver. Here. And be done. Okay, so this is the easiest way to use the paper and the chipboard and the wax. Last week we used the wax on 3D embossing folders. This week we're using it literally as an ink almost. And it just covers so perfectly. But let's move on. Let's see, where am I going to put these for now? About right there. Let's move on. I'm going to take some of my paper and bring over the dies. All right, so new from Find It Trading. First off, these borders are amazing, and I'm going to show you how to use them. Easy, really, really easy, and how practical they can be. I love this set. It's probably my favorite out of the bunch because the shape is so unusual. Then we have an open scallop, which is why I did the open scallop border because it matches. And then we have kind of a bubbly scallop. Now you can see that these are all nesting dies. And anytime you have nesting dies, you have more than what you think you have. Not only do you have solid pieces, but you have frames. They're wonderful, truly wonderful. So I think I'm going to start with this set here. And I'm going to bring over, I'm just going to grab a piece of black paper maybe, white paper, black paper will do. And let's cut one. So So this is an open frame die, which means I can put my hand right through it. It's an easy die to use. It's not intricate at all. It's a wafer die for reasons as you can see. And I'm going to be using my Big Shot machine today. So I've got my Sizzix Big Shot machine. And I've got my magnetic platform. The machine does not come with the magnetic platform. It comes with a standard base and a solo shim so that you're able to cut all kinds of dies with it. The magnetic platform is very nice to have if you're cutting something where you want to get a specific pattern out of it, or you've got a die and a stamp and you've stamped it and now you need to die cut that stamped image out. It's really nice to have if you don't want your paper to move. Because these dies are a little bit longer, the magnetic platform is a little bit nicer to have if you can. It is a want, it is not a need, that is for sure. If the Sizzix machine that you have, you don't have the magnetic platform, it doesn't matter. The bases that they give you, the multi-purpose platforms, the shims, you're going to be able to do the exact same thing. We have brought back the bundle so you get the magnetic platform, which is $39.99. You're going to get that free if you get the machine. So that way you've got it. So you'll get the base that it normally comes with plus the magnetic platform. So let me put this on there, and I think I'm going to just pull it up just a little bit. And I've got it sandwiched. I've got a cut plate below. I've got my paper, my die, and a do not cut plate, which they don't actually sell. Oh, and I think I'm going to turn it on a little bit of an angle. Can I get it on a little bit of an angle? So they don't sell a do not cut plate. We just use a plate that is ideally one that is just a new plate, and you designate it your do not cut plate. You try to keep the cuts out of it so that it stays as flat as possible. I'm going to try and get this on a little bit of an angle to see if I can get it to feed in easier. There we go. So a little bit of an angle so it doesn't make a loud ka-thump. And let's see how I did. Oh, not quite enough pressure here at the top. So I had it a little too close to the edge of my platform, and I didn't get enough pressure out of the machine. So I can choose to either fussy cut it out or cut it again. All right, so I'll put that one off to the side and we'll cut it one more time. Do you think this is wide enough to do it? I think so. And let's try one more time. So the die is almost as long as the platform. And I want to see if I can just... Let's see if I can get that through. Ooh. Let's bring my machine over. And let's send it on through. Okay, creaks and cracks are to be expected. Don't be nervous if you hear them. Oh yeah, see, look it. I centered it better and it came out better. So, easy cut, right? Could put that on top, put it over here, however I want to do it. Let's do some with some of the papers. And maybe I take one of these and maybe one of these, and let's see. Maybe I take one of those and one of those and one of those. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to choose when you like it all. That one, maybe that one. Okay, so I've got my one cut here. Easy to do. Now let's take some of the smaller dies and cut a few things. So I'm going to take the next size down. Decide what paper I want to do. Maybe I'll do those. I'm going to try and cut 2 pieces at the same time. I've got the next size down. Find my center. The die is slightly pulling to where the magnets are. So instead of trying to make the die move where I want it, I'm going to put the paper where the die wants to go, because there's magnets placed every so often in this platform, allowing it to not move. Okay, let's die cut. So 2 pieces at once. Let's see what we get. Roll it right on through. Kind of feels like butter. It's an easy roll. And out we go. But I also have these pieces. And because this paper is so perfectly cut, I could do that. So I took the negative and I could do that and start decorating. Absolutely. I could do that. And use the stuff that most people would think to throw away. This is great. Let's go ahead and cut again. So I'm going to save one of these and not cut it again. And I'm going to take the next size die down in the set right here. And this time I'm going to cut a window out. So that's the beautiful thing about nesting dies, is that they allow you to not only cut a solid piece like we've been doing, but they allow you to cut a frame. And let's, whoop, I just moved it. That looks good. Let's roll it on through. Easy peasy. One roll. You don't even have to go back and forth. No precision base plate is needed. And poof. Now I could do that. And that. Or I could get rid of that and have this smaller. Or I can do just this. Or I can do that and this. What makes your heart happy? You have options. You have a lot of options. Look at, I could cover it, pretend that it's not blue at all, that there was, and start there and then go here. Because you have nesting dies, they're meant to work together. I could do that. I could do this and layer that in there and do that. I could cut a smaller one out of the red and stick the red back in there and not see the black at all. Anytime you have nesting dies, that's the function of them. They're wonderful. Let's cut, since I have two black in the same size, let's cut some frames. So here's my big one that I already did. Let's take the next size down. And I can cut that frame. And then the next size down. And I can cut that frame. I'm going to try and cut these all together. Let's see what we get. So we'll end up having one frame, two frame, and a solid. And send it on through. Okay. Now I've got two different size frames and a solid. So now I could do that. I could do this. Infinite combinations. Totally infinite combinations. I could do just do that. You get to decide when you have nesting dies, and at $14.99 for the dies, they really are beautiful. And it just adds, it just finishes. I want to tape this, I want to put this on, but what if I did this and I did that, and what if I wanted to add that there? Or what if I wanted to add that there? And then that in the middle. And then that on the side. All available to you. Not hard. I know people who have nesting dies who will literally cut every combination they can. And that way they have it. They can keep it. They have it as a reference. Not that these colors go together. Oh, I threw away the black one. I should bring it back. I could trim this down so it just fits. And do that. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of combinations that you can do. And then I could put this. This there, and all of it will go into cards as well. It doesn't have to be on chipboard. So let's take some of this and put it aside, and let's move on. I want to hold on to all of this just in case I need it a little bit later. Okay, let's move on. I think before we get into playing with some more of the wax, the last thing I want to do, well, I'll come back to the dies, but I do want to show you the borders and how easy they are to use. So let me go ahead and grab one of the borders. And this time I'm just going to take a piece of black paper, and I'm going to take a piece of white paper. And I think I'm going to use, we haven't used the rose gold, so let's open up the rose gold. Change my little sponge. Go in, dip in. And I'm just going right on top of white paper. So the wax allows you to make a metallic paper that dries super fast. Now this white paper is not coated like the pretty ink drop paper is. So that means this is absorbing into and drying on top of very, 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 very fast. There's really no dry time here. So unlike using a paste, which would require some kind of a dry time, or even a pigment-based ink, because pigment-based ink is meant to stay wet, the wax lets you make metallic paper without having to wait for a dry time. So there's on white, and then let's do it on black, just so you can see the difference. And then we're going to move on. Yeah, then we're going to move on because, oh, the next stuff is pretty cool. All right, I just want to get some on here. And it smells like oranges. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision. I thought, gosh, when I was a kid, I thought for sure by now we'd have smell-o-vision. Now I can see that I probably need to add a little bit more and a little bit there, but I'm going to be die cutting, so I'm okay with it. And dry. So black and white. Who would know that this is what's underneath the beautiful metallic? Let's take some borders. Love me this one. I do, I do, I do. And I love this one too. We'll have to see if I can get the camera to zoom in enough to show you. Let's bring over my machine. And paper down. So magnetic platform, cut plate, and boy, you can tell it's a cut plate because look at that. Your plates are going to be all beautiful and new when you get them, and then you're going to start cutting into it and you're going to go, oh no, oh look at, I could have even made a couple more borders. And let's put this one here. Okay, so these are not going to cut the border out. They're going to cut the border into the paper. These are cut into, not cut out of. So that means you can make them the length that you want them. You can go and go and go and go. And let's send them on through. These are a little more intricate than the open frame dies I was using for the frames. These are obviously, they don't have the intricacy of these borders. So I am going to go front and back. But so far, I have not needed to use a precision base plate with these at all. They have just cut right through my Sizzix Big Shot machine. No, oh my gosh, oh, it makes my heart happy. And then all the little pieces that are left over. And let's zoop, 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 all the little pieces out. Zoop, 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 zoop. And let's snip. You can put these on the edges of your card to give that card a finished edge. You can do your mats for your layouts with these. And there it is. Do you see how delicate and sweet that is? And I decided how wide I want the extra border. I could have put it all the way up here and only had a little tiny itty bitty border, but I left it so that it's up to me. What do I want it to be? Do I want it to be this thick? I don't know. Do I want it narrower? Do I want to put it here on this side? And then punch my holes through it and have a border there? What is it that you want to do? And then look at this one. Snip. Snip. First off, this one gives you a perfect pinking edge as your throwaway border. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? For a border? There, or there, or there, or over here. You decide. Who would know that below on the backs of both of these, they started out as white and black paper? Lovely. Oh, so pretty. Where'd my yellow one go? Oh, here. So I could trim this. I could trim this all the way off. I could take as much of that border off as I want and make it as narrow as I want to fit there. Or that one. And again, I could use them. I could cut it here and use it for top and bottom, facing each other. Options, when you have something that's so long, you can always cut it down, but it's harder to make something longer. So it's always nice to have something that's bigger than what you need, because then you have more options on how to use it. The borders are fabulous, and with the wax, because it dries instantaneously, poof, like that, you are good to go, and there is no waiting. Okay, so now we've played with the waxes. We've played with some of the stencils. We're going to play more with the stencils. Some of the stencils. We've die cut out all different sizes and shapes. This was just all done out of one set, and there's more to be done. And you see how layering them and taking the pieces that you thought were throwaway, because it is a perfect fit. It doesn't have to be a throwaway. I could put this under there, and I could actually put this. I could put this under here and trim that off and have that like this. Ah, you've got options. Some of my most favorite words, besides exclusive, only at, first to have, shipped. Okay, let's move on. Let's play with some of the chipboard. So, chipboard. Let's wax it up, okay? Let's just wax it up. And I'm gonna take some of my silver. What did I do with my silver? Oh, nope, where'd my silver go? I know it's here. Anybody seen it? Well, okay, well, too bad, so sad. I'll make an, oh, it's in there. I was being so good. I put it away, I put it in there. Okay, let's take my silver. And let's just cover my whole chipboard. Maybe you don't want to use die cuts. Maybe you just want to mat and put paper down and you need to cover your whole thing. Fine. Okay, that's how fast it was. That's how fast it was. I don't think you can cut paper and put paper down as fast as that took me. And again, it's dry. It's like, look, Mom, it's not like M&Ms. M&Ms really do melt in your hands. This doesn't. Look it. I'm not sure how they got away with that slogan. Oh, I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. Okay. So now, again, I can do whatever I want with it. If you didn't want to do anything more than add a border around it, and this is your card, and stamp something down the center, you're good to be done. Absolutely. But I wanted to play more with it. I did. I wanted to play more. And you know what? I think I'm going to keep these kind of handy. And maybe I should trim this one out just a bit because it's a little crooked. Or maybe I should just cut another one. Well, we'll just trim it out and see what happens. So I'm going to bring over my Pearly. Now I did Pearly a couple weeks ago, and Pearly is from Aladine. Pearly is not a mousse, so it's not like a Nouveau mousse. It is more fluid than that. It moves beautifully. It's more opaque. It doesn't necessarily blend. It lays on top of. And the thicker you put it on, the longer it takes to dry. So I'm going to grab my Pearly and I'm going to grab a palette knife. And this is just an inexpensive palette knife. We have the whole set really inexpensively. And I'm going to use some of this Pearly. And I'm going to put it right on my chipboard. And I'm just going to kind of move it here and move it there. I don't want you to think that I have any preconceived notion of what I'm going to get. I am just being okay with it. Yes, this might be a little out of your comfort zone because you may be a type like me and had to learn to embrace the let it go. Okay, I don't want to cover up all my silver. Can you see how thin I'm putting this on? I mean, I'm putting it on super thin. This Pearly really looks so that's more what it's supposed to look like. I have scraped it. In fact, I'm going to put that in the trash because knowing me, I'll put my arm in it. I have scraped it as thin as I can on this. One, because I want it to dry. Look at that, dry. And two, I don't want it to cover up my beautiful silver that I just put down. Look at, fabulous. But then let's take another color. How about a little bit of the dark blue? A little bit. Okay, this blue goes a really, really long way. Really long way. So I'm not even going to clean that off. I'm just going to put a little bit. Woo, that's enough. And I'm going to come in here and maybe scrape some of the blue. And again, I'm not giving myself any idea of what it's supposed to be. I'm just gonna let it be. Oh, that blue. Yeah, that blue's beautiful. But it does get, it's definitely blue. Kind of clean my edges off. And look at how beautiful that's becoming. Could I take another color and put it on top? Sure. How about we take maybe a little bit of the purple? And just a little bit here and there. And it's not going to blend, it's going to kind of sit on top. So that each layer is coming through. And not crowding the other. Ooh, right? And it's dry because I put it on so thin. Now, who would ever think that that is that? So easy to do. So easy to do. Let's take another one. Let's find a big one. Let's take another one. And let's do this one with the gold. Let me put that one off to the side and get my lids. And let's take my gold luster wax and my little gold spongy and into my gold. And move that wax all around. And a little, I mean, the wax is going to last you quite some time. When I was first told it was $8.99 a bottle, I was like, say what? I said, not a chance. But then I was told, wait till you see how long it lasts. So I've been playing with it, and they're right, it does. And I have to tell Victorious Victor from Sizzix and Sizzix Sarah, all right, you were right. I have to be able to say, yep, you were right. Okay, you told me so. And it just goes on because it's wax-based and not water-based. So it doesn't dry out, it doesn't get moldy. Ooh, oh, I want to soften that out. Can you see I've got those lines in there? I'm just gonna soften it out a little bit. Ooh, that's a little too soft, Stacy. You gotta hold on to it. And soften out. Oh yeah, look at how pretty is that, right? Then I can come in with, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Do I want the purple? I guess I do. We'll do the purple first. And just kind of all over. But I don't want to cover up all that beautiful gold I just did. I want to highlight that gold and accent it. And I'm going in mixed directions. Okay, what do we think? Yay? And then back on, and then maybe this lighter blue. Oh, that's such a pretty blue. just kind of putting it everywhere. So is it mixed media? Maybe. Is it hard mixed media? Absolutely not. Is it scary mixed media? Heavens no. And I'm just scraping. Okay, and then maybe one last color just because I can. Maybe just a touch of the dark blue. Like a touch of it. Ooh. Like almost nothing. So I've got the gold underneath, and then I'm just layering the pearly on top. So it is not a paste and it is not a mousse, but it is pretty. It's got the same metallic properties as the wax. So you're getting that metallic shimmery sheen from all of it, but it's not like in your face all of it. It's not like, ooh, glitter, shimmer, sheen. Oh, this almost looks like watercolor. If I could only say I was a Monet. Hello, how pretty is that? Oh, that makes my heart so happy. And then I have this one here. How pretty is that? And they all started as yucky, although very functional, chipboard. Gosh, and you could mix the two sizes in your albums and play. But now what do we do with these now that we've got these? Well, okay, let's get, let's say I want to do on this one, let's get this one maybe. Maybe I do this one. Another stencil from Sue Wilson. Or maybe I want to do that on this one. Decisions. I don't know. Maybe I use the rope one. Ooh. All right, let's use the rope one on this one. Let me get that piece of tape off. So Sue Wilson, Slimline Stencil, look it. Perfect fit. Hello, thank you, Susan and Jim over at Clear Scraps who made them just for me. She's like, what sizes do you want them to be? I said, I need them to be exactly these sizes. And she said, okay. Bless her heart. All right, so tape it down. So you're not gonna get a lot of places to tape. Let's go here. Because they don't give you the little tabs like I do on my folders. Let's go there. And let's go there. And there. Okay, then let's take the silver. Where's my silver wax? Right here. Silver wax. Oh, love, love, love. I haven't even seen it and I know I love, love, love it. You have to be willing to play. And if you think you've made mud okay. Make mud. We all made mud pies growing up, and we thought that they were the most perfect little cakes ever. We served them to our grandmas and our nannies and our bubbas, and we thought that they were all that and a bag of chips. Finish making your mud. When you are done and you have finished the card that you're making, step away. Even if you have to step away during the making of it, finish what you start and then take a look at it and say, gosh, is it really mud or does that look good? So here's where I'm at. I have taken that luster wax and stenciled right on top. And oh, yum. I don't know what I'm going to do with it now, but oh my gosh. Oh, what do we think? Are we excited? Do we love it? The Pearly is the right consistency to be able to scrape and have it dry almost immediately. And because I'm on chipboard, hello, yay, right? Oh, that's just beautiful. Okay, so maybe we do I do this one in the gold? Do I do this one in the gold? Okay, so I'm gonna keep it closer to the side. Okay, let's tape it down. Gosh, I just don't know. I love it the way it is. Huh. See, indecision. No, I'm just not. Maybe I'll do another one. I'm gonna save that one. Indecision got the best of me, and I just dropped something. That's okay. Maybe I do this one. So I'm not using it on paper, I'm using it directly to the chipboard that has been waxed and pearlied. Just to hold it in place. And maybe I do this one with the silver too. And I'm just going over with the wax and my little dauber from Aladine. And I'm just moving it along. And just moving it along. So that's where I am so far. Haven't got down there yet, but let's get down there. And I'm just moving it along. And then I think I'm gonna take this off. And I think I'm gonna do the sides in silver too. So I'm gonna cover up some of that of what I just did. So I'll leave half and half, and that way we can make up our minds. Okay, so I took and covered half the chipboard, and I covered up what I did with the gold and the pearly, but then I left it on this side so that we can see what we like better. Oh, it's beautiful. And I don't know, look at how nicely it frames it out when you do the silver. Okay, let's go back. Let me just lay this on top and let me finish it in the silver. Just because it frames that out so beautifully. I don't have to worry about going in the center. All I have to worry about is adding to the side. Just to cover up that pearly, so it really makes that pearly and that gold stand out in the negative space of the stencil. So if you don't like it, you just cover it. Oh yeah, you just cover it up and start again. Okay. Blah. Ooh. Where'd my really pretty one, my silver one go? Oh. Blah. Ooh. 2 different sizes. Totally can do this. Oh. Right? Totally can do this. But what if you want to use the pearly and you want to stencil? Okay, let's get this one and let's do it in the silver again. So I'm just going to cover up a whole piece of chipboard again. Whole piece of chipboard. And look at how quickly it covers it. Okay. Probably could use a little more down there, but I'm going to be good with it. Okay, because I'm going to stencil on the top of it. So I'm just going to let it be. Lid, lid, lid. And that's what I'm going to bring this one over for. Ooh, I love this stencil. And I'm going to get it down. Come on. Let's get this side down. And then maybe do a little bit on the sides just so I can hold it in position. Oh, well. It would be nice if they gave you the tabs. That would sure be nice. But once I get some of the paste on it, well, it's not paste. I don't know, it's not a paste, it's not a mousse. The Pearly is definitely different. Okay, so let's take maybe some of the dark Pearly. Now, normally you would think we would use a palette knife, right? To go in and put that stenciling in there. I'm gonna treat the Pearly like an ink. I'm gonna pretend it's an ink. So I'm going to grab another dauber, clean one. And I'm gonna open it up. And I'm gonna treat it like an ink. And it's going to carry that same pearlescence. Look at that, I'm rubbing with it. It's going to carry that same pearlescence. Okay, let's use another color. And how about this really pretty blue? Treat it like an ink, and I'm going to kind of blend it in. And layer it on top. A little bit more blue. Blend it in. Just like an ink, only ink that has a pearlescence to it. Gosh, I might even take this all the way up to the top here, and then take maybe just a little bit of this turquoisey. I think I'm just gonna keep to the same pad. Come on. There we go. A little bit of turquoisey. And maybe transition. Oh! Love, 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 love. Little bit, just a little bit. Just to transition it. Oh! This is just like inking. Can I get a little bit more of my blue in there? See, I've given up changing pads. I'm over it. I'm over it. Only it's got a pearlescence to it. And then the very last color I will change out because I'm going to use that white, the Pearly white. Not too much. And I'm going to put that up here. Just to add, it's almost going to disappear, but it'll have that little, like a ghost look of that stencil. Just so the stencil just doesn't stop. Yeah, I'm glad I waited for this one. So there I am. I did this all with Pearly. And it's got that beautiful pearlescence when you lift it. Oh yeah, look at that. You've got the silver behind. You've got the blues in the ombre all the way up. Oh, make my heart happy. I think that the stencils, I think they're $5 and then they're on sale. I might be wrong, but I think that we've got them down to like $4 for the stencils. If I'm wrong, don't be mad at me. But my gosh, is that beautiful. My gosh, is that beautiful. Holy smokes, artichokes. Which do you like better? You don't have to choose. You can do it all. You just want it on paper? Okay. You can just do it on paper. No problem. You want to do the borders? Absolutely. I don't know what I did with my little die cut borders. They're here somewhere in my hot mess of things. You want to just play on paper? You can just play on paper. Can you, I mean, I love this. And you can see the pearlescence all the way through it. It matches. That's why I had to have the Pearly, Kevin, because the shimmer in the Pearly matches the shimmer in the wax, and they work together so perfectly. And I was like, oh, are you sure the two different companies made these products? Because my gosh, they're peas in a pod. They belong together. The wax gives you the intense gold, silver, and rose gold copper, and the Pearly gives you everything else. And you can do it. And then you've got the dies. I don't want to cover these up. I really don't want to cover these up. You've got the dies to let you finish everything off. I would so never cover these up. Amazing, amazing product. And then on top of all of that, we have got great sentiments from Stampendous. Really beautiful, simple, elegant, funny sentiments from Stampendous that are made for next week. They were made to be in next week's YouTube. So I have samples with them, and we'll put them out for this week. The girls made all the samples with them. So they were meant for next week. We're going to put them out this week and next week, but I'll stamp with them next week. I just want you to see all that you can do with a limited amount of product. All that you can do with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The options really, really are endless. And that Pearly, now can you do it just on chipboard? Yes, okay. Let's say you don't even want to, let's say you just want to use the Pearly. Let's grab another piece. And I'm going to do the same stencil in the same colors just on the chipboard. Because maybe you like raw, natural chipboard. Absolutely, why not? And then when you're done, if you ever decide to throw this away, make something of it because it's beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there. And I'm gonna put that there. And I'm gonna put that there. And let's grab a little more to put onto the side, just a little bit onto the side. So now I'm just going to use raw chipboard. That may be the look you're going for. Can you do it? Why not? Who says no? Not me. I say try. The beautiful thing is if you don't like it, you can take the wax and cover it right up like it never even happened. Okay, so let's start with that's my white one. I'm going to keep that white one to the side. Here's my dark one. And I started with the dark in there. Little bit. So I started with the dark in here. So I'm not spouncing. I'm spouncing just to get a little ink going, but then Then I'm just rubbing like I made it in ink. But it's a shimmer ink without having to wait for it to dry. Then I went to the medium one. I went to the super light one, but then I decided I wanted to add more of a transition. So I went here. Because I wanted more of a transition. Treat it like an ink. Definitely not a paste. It's too loose for a paste. Definitely not a mousse. Then, gosh, do I want to go? Maybe. Okay, let's add some of the light blue, and then I might go back and darken some of it up. Let's add some of the light blue. Some of the light blue in there. And then I will change because I want to use white. And I'm just directly on chipboard. And that white is almost going to act like, well, on the chipboard, you're going to see it far more than you did on the silver. The silver, it just allowed for the design to be finished and carried out to the end, so it didn't just stop. Wow, it's dry. My hands want to stick to it. You think we're good? Okay, this is where I'm at. Just on chipboard. And then up to you. You could take an edge your chipboard and just have those edges finish off. Just edge it. Kind of like you're distressing it, like we used to do with chalks. Use it like an ink. And remember, it dries super fast. Right onto the chipboard. Silver. See how it almost ghosts away, but it keeps the pattern going, so it fades. Chipboard. I don't know, which ones do you like better? You have options. Okay. I think I did everything I needed to do. I think I've shown you everything I needed to show you. Let me just quickly review. Well, it's a mess, so maybe I won't. So, okay, so we've been using stencils from Sue Wilson. They are full slimline size stencils. I think there's 5 of them. And I think I used almost all of them. I know I used that one, and I used this one. I used this one. I used the hearts. And you can do anything from paper to plastic to chipboard. If you're using the wax or the Pearly, both of these mediums are meant to go on everything. Obviously, because they have made my beautiful stencils, they have covered them. And that's okay. It doesn't hurt the stencil and it doesn't transfer off. It's absolutely fine that it now has a tone of gold to it. An uninked stencil is an unloved stencil. So we've used these all over on just regular paper, on the chipboard, on top of the wax. We've used them everywhere, and they are an amazing value. Okay, you're going to see in a lot of the samples these 3 sentiment sets from Stampendous. And I'm planned on using them next week, and I still will. But just to give you an idea, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. This one's my favorite. Listen to dragonflies as they whisper, have faith. And that's kind of what you need to do today. You need to have some faith in what you're playing with. Just go for it. Keep blooming, beautiful one. Start each day with a little song. I mean, they're really, you know, Stampendous, they do beautiful sentiments. In my imaginary neighborhood, you'd live next door. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's see. A circle is round, it has no end. That's how long I want to be your friend. Oh, see, that's sweet. And then, wishing you a wonderful day filled with golden memories. Count your age by friends, not years. Oh, see, these are beautiful for a special friend. Count your life by smiles, not tears. So, these are going to be featured next week, but we're also using them this week. The girls made samples with them, so if you want to get a jump on them, now you can get them earlier, order them a little earlier. Then I have the four different slimline sets from Find It Trading. The border set, the open scallop set. All of them are nesting sets. The set that I used today, I don't even know, they're calling it Slimline Bow. And then the bumpy or the bubbly scallop set. $14.99 gets you for the I Want It All. $59.99 for the whole set. You all know, if you do slimline, this is an amazing price. You also know last time we sold out really fast. I only have so many of these. And then we have the paper, which was cut to fit the slimline cards. Everything, well, the slimline cards were cut to fit the paper. The slimline albums were cut to fit the paper and the dies. I made sure of that. And trust me, Susan knows that. She's like, how many times are we, what measurement again? And we had to cut and cut until it was perfect. But they've got 4 new collections available in the slimline and 6x6. And I want to tell you, if you are not crazy about if you're not crazy yet about the rusted metal, you may say it's a little too grunge for you. Wait till you see the samples. Stunning samples. Okay, then we have the Sizzix Wax. And like I said, I did my best to lock up as much of this as I possibly could. All 3 for $19.99, or they're on sale, I think 20% off if you just want one color as opposed to the 3. Not a problem. Then the Aladine. We've got their little daubers. If you already have the Tim Holtz ones or somebody else's, that's fine. They should work just fine. They just happen to fit perfectly inside the wax without question. Perfectly. And then we have the chipboard. So we have 2 different books. Here's the large book, and that's the one that lets you do the matting. That's the one that gives you the opportunity to be able to mat and make a little bit bigger book. And then we have all of the borders that will go with it. Keep in mind, these borders can be used on their own, on cards. Doris, you'll see, made a layout or made a frame with one of them, and she even mitered the corners. They were amazing. So the borders, there's an I Want It All for the borders, or you can buy them separately, and then as many books that makes your heart happy. And you get 5 pages per book. That's the large, and then we have the regular size. And we have the smaller. They're the same, the borders are the same style. They're just to scale. They scale with the book. You don't want this massive border on this book. They needed to be to scale. So again, a big thank you to Jim and to Susan from Clear Scraps, because they had to envision everything that I wanted and then make it work, and they did. And I can't thank them enough for all of that. They are a small company, and I am here to support them. I'm here to support them. I'm here. When you meet good people, you want to help good people. You want to do right by good people. Okay, I also have the Pearly. I don't have a ton of it because we already put our order in. I had to call Kevin and say, can I have more? And he had to call, so the US called the UK, and then the UK called France. So the Pearly, I've got all the colors, it's all on sale, and I think you'll be thrilled with what it does. I really do. The samples are they're just beautiful. Who would ever think? Okay, so I think that's all. Let's show samples. All right, so let me grab these. I'm gonna do cards, and then I'm gonna do chipboard, and then I'm gonna finish with cards, I think. So I showed this one to you. In the beginning. And this one. And look at this. All slimline size with the sentiment from Stampendous. This is the die from Find It. This is the die from Find It. All slimline size, $14.99. Again, the slimline die from Find It Trading, the slimline die from Find It Trading, the sentiment from Stampendous. And then I just have a sentiment card, the sentiment from Stampendous. You'll probably see these next week too. In my imaginary neighborhood, you live next door. And all of this was cut with the slimline dies from Find It. Even the little piece here, those are the little add-ins in the center that you get. So both of these were cut with slimline, and you've got the Hobby Gross ink drop paper in the background. And then how beautiful is this? So the paper was cut with the slimline from Find It, the open scallop. The edges here, that was cut with the slimline. And that was cut with the slimline, and the sentiment is by Stampendous. And then we have another sentiment card from Stampendous. Wishing you a wonderful day filled with golden memories. This was all done using slimline from Find It Trading in the $14.99 dies. Nope, nothing in the center. Okay, just making sure. Even the centers, I don't want to take off your heart, were done with the slimline. And you've got the bubbly scallop and the open scallop and the bubbly scallop. And look at this. This was done with the ink drop paper. And then the wax, putting the hearts on the ink drop paper. And then the border the border die from Find It. Look at that. And this is part of a Find It, and the sentiment is Stampendous. That just has everything. It's It's like perfect. It has it all. The wax, the well done. And another card from Stamp Pandas with their sentiments. What is this? You are amazing just the way you are. Okay, now I'm going to show you some covers for the chipboard, and then I'm going to end with some more samples of cards. Okay, look at this. You've got the wax and the Sue Wilson stencil. You've got that rusty metal paper. This is amazing. And it's ready to make. You could copy this and do it as a card, but it's ready to be made into a chipboard mini album. And then look at this one. Same thing. You've got the dark ink drop paper. You've got the borders from the dies. You've got the stencils and the wax. Oh, they did the backs. I bet they did the backs. They did. Look at that back is, I think, I bet that's Ciao Bella paper to go with this one. They did the backs. So your front. Oh, and this one they didn't. Well, I spoke too soon. Look at how beautiful is this. All done with the Sizzix Wax, the Sue Wilson stencils, Find It dies, and Hobby Gross paper. Find It dies, stencil, Hobby Gross paper, turn it over, and you've got the back side. I felt it, that's how I knew it was done. Somebody go on a cruise? Well, not lately. I spoke too soon. And look at this one. You've got the border. You've got it waxed. You've got the ink drop paper. You've got the dies. Look at this sample. Is that fabulous? And then turn it over and the back side. And here, she's used it as she didn't use the full size, she actually used the small one on the big and she has it hanging off for the cover. And she's waxed and fussy cut and stenciled and layered, and you've got the stenciling all up here and down there to give texture and dimension. And then you turn it over and just a simple back. And here, this is that die, that border die that I did. Look at how cute is that. Oh, it'd help if it was right side up. And you've got the little bee, and you've got waxing going on with the wax and the stencil. And then we flip it over, and you've got the little pocket. So if you haven't tried a mini album, give them a whirl. Okay, here, you've got the Hobby Gross paper, the scratched metal here. You've got the ink drop back there. You've got the stenciling going on here with the Pearly. You've got the die cutting out here from Find It, and then you turn it over, and again, the die from Find It, and then you lift it up, and again, the dies from Find It, all on the ink drop paper. Oh, that's wonderful, right? Oh, and then look at this one. Count your life by smiles, not tears. You've got the stenciling going on with the Sue Wilson Creative Expression stencils and the die. This was the die that I was using today. And the sentiment by Stamp Pandas. And here we go. Look at this. So you've got the edge that I used. And just layered paper. No die cutting on here. This is just layering paper. And then the back side. And the edge was used up at the top for a detail. Okay, then I've just got a few more cards left and then we are done. Okay, I showed you this one earlier. Pretty fabulous, right? That's pretty wonderful. On the ink drop paper with the Sue Wilson stencil and the luster wax from Sizzix. The train was fussy cut out. And then we've got Count Your Life by Smiles, Not Tears, with the Find It Trading die on the side, and you've got the Find It Trading die on the opulent paper, and you've got stenciling with the Sue Wilson and the wax there. A little bit of everything going on this one, and it's beautiful. And then I'm supposed to open this one. Listen to dragonflies as they whisper, have faith. You can do this. I promise you. A little bit of faith and trust in pixie dust. You just have to start. And you have to be okay with whatever comes out. Don't think about it. Just let it be. And the creation will happen on its own. And always finish. If when you're done with something, even if you have to step away from it for a while, finish it. And when you're done, if you really don't like it, then I give you permission to toss it. But you can't toss it until you finish it. Even that little die right there comes with one of the sets from Find It. Even that little guy, these little guys are a center somewhere. And here they've used the border as an extended edge. And you've got the Find It has done all the die cutting. Oh, no, no center. And then look at how beautiful. Find It Trading on the outside die. And the stenciling right on the paper. Stencil right on the paper. It adds that depth and that dimension and that texture that flat paper you just can't get. You add a little stenciling in the colors and all of a sudden it feels different. The layering on it, it looks different. It completes it. Okay, and then this is the last sample. Again, using that rusty metal. This sample is beautiful. Who would think that rusty metal paper, they have used the Sizzix wax on it, and they've used the Find It dies, and yes, these are the Find It dies, and they've got the stamp from Stampendous in here, all on that Hobby Gross rusty metal and ink drop paper. Look at this. That is rock star. From something that you might have thought was a little too grunge. All slimline size. Okay, the last thing is layouts. Here's Doris's layout. So remember I told you she took the borders, the chipboard borders, and she pearlied and she pressed the stencil in and she mitered the corners to get it to be a frame. No jig required. She did it by hand. And then you've got the die cuts from Find It Trading in the Slimline, and you've got stenciling going on down here, and you've got stenciling going on up there, and you've got wax going on, and it's got a little bit of everything. So this is Doris's layout, and then we have Claire's layout, which again has a little bit of everything. You've got the stenciling going on with the wax, stenciling with the wax. You've got the borders from Find It. You've got the little extra pieces that come out of the die. You've got more of the stenciling going on. This is Claire's layout. All right, you guys. Oh, it's me, Stacy. Scrapbooking Made Simple. What you don't know is this is my 4th time trying to tape this class because we kept losing power. And every time I have to stop and start, I literally have to reset. There's no editing. There's no script. There's no voiceover. There's no pre-made anything. So when I have to stop, depending upon it, well, it doesn't matter. Sometimes, yesterday, sometimes the power went out right in the beginning. I was like 5 minutes in and it was no big deal. But gosh, one time I was like an hour into it, and that means I have to stop and reset everything, start all over again. But gosh, it was certainly worth it. I hope you think so, because this product is good product. From all of the manufacturers, from the chipboard to the stencils at such a great price, to those dies at such a great price, to the wax and how easy it is to use, how forgiving it is to use, and that pearly layering it on top and putting it down so that it dries super fast when you do it thin. You can do all of this. All right, it is me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple. Where are you going to find this product? Well, go shop your local independent retailer first. And I mean a local independent retailer. Amazon's not so local and they're not so independent. So, and if you don't have one of those, then find a small online business like us. There are many big online companies out there, and we support them as well. They do an amazing job, and they're able to provide services that we can't, like 12 by 12 paper. We don't ship 12 by 12 paper. But gosh, if you've got a mom and pop online business, especially if they started up because of last year, give them the opportunity and then come shop with us. We support mom and pop businesses, just like Grandma and Grandpa. Clear Scraps, and Aladine is a small business, and I mean they all, well, Sizzix is not so small. But okay. I like the wax, what can I say? All right, you guys, I will see you next week. Thanks for staying with us. Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Bye, everybody.